Again, I got another woman that says, I learned that we all yearning for comfort, going through life, trying to find matching partners to meet our intimacy levels. The saddest part is a lot of this need for comfort was born from trauma. We are trying to soothe ourselves from our day-to-day life. Yeah, I don't even disagree with that. But what I want to say is that, so yes, there is a lot of trauma out there, a lot of heartbreaks, and people have been betrayed, both men and women. This is true. But from the woman's perspective, when you bring that into another relationship with a man, you don't get to say, well, I just did that because of my past trauma. You have to still take accountability for that, right? If you're not healed, right, why are you dating in the first place? If you still got trauma, there has to get to a point in your life where it's okay. I've done the healing, okay? I've gone through the hard part. Now I'm wise enough. I've healed enough from my past mistakes, and they are mistakes. Now you've learned better. You should be able to conduct yourself in a better manner with a better option, a better man. And I don't just mean material-wise. I'm talking about character, right? To where you don't get to say, well, because of my trauma, X, Y, Z. Why are you dating then? Why are you in the sexual market? Why are you out here if you still have trauma, right? Because other people's emotions and feelings matter too, even if they're men, right? That's what I want to say about that. All right, you guys, we got an interesting video today. Man, long time no see. Life is doing what life does, but I'm back and I'm here in this particular video. I just want to premise before I get into this clip. This is a clip that's kind of been going around. My patience is extremely thin with conversations like this because I am just so fed up with the nonsense that women are spewing today, with the nonsense that's going all around. And it's essentially blind leading the blind. And I just want to nitpick at, not even nitpick, I want to point out a lot of the stuff that we're going to see in these clips. And it's about an hour-long conversation. I'll leave the content creators in the comments section, but we're going to get into some of these clips. I want to hear your thoughts. I'm going to express my thoughts and stop certain things. So let's do this. Let's get into this.
We're skipping a lot of steps here. Like, I think that there's a lot that you could do before saying, oh, now I'm ready for sex clubs. Like,
you know, sex club is strip club in my head.
No,
because I don't have
even,
sex in them.
Bro, not even close.
You don't have sex in them?
I don't. I go to sex clubs for the energy.
Same.
Like, it's kind of like...
Or for the hugs. Yeah, for the hugs.
For the hug.
For the guy that wanted to cuddle you. You know when you go to a club?
I want to just stop right there and I want to point this out. I want you to... She says she goes to the sex clubs for the energy or for the hugs. This is... Hold on. You know what? Hold on. Let me let it run.
And you got a man, but you know you want to flirt with everyone. It's like that.
So for me, the last couple years, like, so in my last relationship, I was going bi-weekly.
So I want to point out the fact that she says that when you know you have a man, but you go for attention, right? This is something that we see that a lot of women do today, right? With social media. Women today are the most materialistic they've ever been, or maybe they've always been like this. I don't know. But nowadays you can see it clear as day, right? They do things for attention. You see this all over social media. And you'll see more of it even as these clips play out. I haven't even watched the whole thing. I've seen certain clips and I've timed them because I wanted to get into them. But and this is why I think it's so important to be in scripture when it talks about, you know, you shall know them by their fruits. Because today you can see people based off their fruits and what they do, mainly through social media today. I'm going to keep this going, but I want you to take note of that.
We played together. We played separately. We did things in front of other people. Sometimes we would go just to watch. Kind of like what Weezy said. I think it's been really experiencing it now solo for the last 2 years because my partner now is not interested at all in it. But going by myself has been empowering to just be in rooms with people who feel liberated, who are confident, who are comfortable, and also just like-minded people. I think when
all right, I want to stop this particular segment as well. When she says liberated, what all you're hearing is women who just love to sleep around, promiscuous women who don't want to be told anything. The sad truth about this, or the sadness of all of this, is today, and this is the thing, and I don't want you to, like, I'm not someone who hates women or any of those things. They'll try and tell you, if you're a man and you check women on certain things that you know to be true, they'll try and label you as toxic or something like that. They'll try to diminish what you're saying. I love women. I'm a family man at my heart. I'm about community. I'm with family, aunties, children. Like, I'm very much a family man. And with that, obviously, I have a responsibility as an older man now to teach and to guide. And the issue today is we have so many women getting caught up and wrapped up in feel-good messages led by other women that are strictly, and it's all feel-good messages. It's all feel-good messages with women. That's why it can be easy to manipulate them. That's why, listen, the heart is deceitful and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Right? Who can know it? And it really breaks my heart when I see content like this. And we're going to get into the comments because that's what we do on my page. And I promise you, from what I've seen already, strictly other women okaying this, agreeing with it, talking about how they feel, and this is what it's all feel good messages. This is what gets women led astray and in the wrong direction. And then when you have a man who doesn't stand for that and actually checks them and tells them the right way or the right thing to do, they don't like it. Right now they're gonna cuss you out, tell you you're toxic and blah blah blah. The sad thing about today is we can have women that are completely wrong and will lead other women astray, but the culture supports their behavior. And I spent a lot of time questioning like why is it that women can do certain things, like when it comes to like not taking accountability, that a man just cannot do. But then I think about culture, I think about the government and how, obviously, even when it comes to therapy, it's like 70% of the therapists cater to the women and their emotional needs when they cry and fuss, right? We got to watch that. The pretty girl who gets stopped by a police officer, but she cries and maybe fuss about something, so he lets her off. Like, culture literally supports this immature behavior, which is why a lot of times you have men that will compare women to children. Now, this is not every woman. I'm not talking about every woman, but this is a large chunk of women, and that is the issue. And it really breaks my heart when I see stuff like this. I'm actually angry because I see that it's always from the woman's perspective, and it's never from the male's perspective that they're giving information. So they're in an echo chamber. And yes, I really mean that, of other women just okaying and agreeing with them. Even when it's wrong, it feels right. And that is what feels right is right to them, even when it's not. And that's very dangerous. That's very dangerous. And so it breaks my heart when I see stuff like this, because men do not want women that sleep around. Men will sleep with a woman that sleeps around, but he will not take her seriously. No man wants a promiscuous woman. You think he wants to bring that woman back to his mom's house or his mom's spot or whoever, his family, and he's talking about he wants to marry her? What would you do? Like, oftentimes, and I know I'm going on a rant right now, but excuse me, it's just I have to. Like, say for example, these women right here. This is Shan Booty. She's like the one that runs this. She's like you'll see her. She's like the light-skinned one with the curly hair or whatever. What I want to know is if I don't know if these women have kids or not, but let's say they did. This particular promiscuous woman had a son, right? Would she want to have her son be with a selfish woman who only thinks about herself and her feelings and what she needs? Right? Like, think about that. Like, actually, if one of these women were to have a son and that son wanted to be with a woman who was completely selfish, and everything was about her and what she wanted, would you want that for your son? Because if so, you need to be questioned. Right? Like, what is she going to do for you? What is she going to do for your son? How is she going to cater to your son? Right? This goes both ways. And I don't think they see that. There's a lack of maturity. I don't care about their age. They're all grown, but you could be grown and immature. There's a lack of maturity within the women of today. And my patience is, I'm sick of it, to be completely honest with you. Yeah, so I had to do that. I'm going to go into another clip that I have to speak on in this particular video. I have to.
How do you differentiate or tell women that they could have these non-committal, friends with benefits situations with men while also wanting the feelings of being cared for, like if they were their partner?
I loved what you said so much about accepting your fate, because when you just know in your heart, and most people can know this, 80% of people will find a long-term partner by 40. I can't promise you that 80% of people are going to get a house, are going to have their dream job. I can't make that kind of promise you're going to live in the best city. But that is a stat that only exists for this space. So you can almost move like it's going to happen. But you also have no control over when you meet that person. What you do have control over, I think, though, is your light. Like being in a space where you are light, where you feel liquid, where you don't feel needy because you have opportunities around you. I would say, and I did this when I had a fuck buddy, which Jared is my fuck buddy, which is the worst plot twist. I know, it's so boring.
Now look what you turned
Such
into.
a good fuck buddy relationship because I had Jared as a fuck buddy. I had a cuddle buddy who I would go and sleep over with afterwards because that wasn't.
That's not what y'all had.
No, but the other guy, I would go over there. We never had sex, but I would walk his dog.
It had to be smaller.
We would be
unattracted.
He was so fine. He was
Why
a
did
model. He wasn't what Jared had sexually, sauce wise and skill wise.
The skills. He's smiling on her.
This other dude was stunning and gorgeous. I loved being around him. I liked his energy. I just didn't think we would have great sex. But I knew I liked being around somebody really attractive, and he was fun. You can have 6 people that make up one and keep your heart open and knowing that when you
All right, so 6 people. Okay. Let's slow down here, fellas. We have a lot to dissect from that. Take note that everything is about her, right? They don't believe in catering to a man. It's all about them. She said you can have 6 different people in one. And then I'm so flabbergasted. Anyways, if she didn't say it, then she goes on to talk about how she's waiting for the one, right? She's waiting for the true one. And basically what she is saying is she's using the other 6 men until she finds the one. As if those men's feelings and emotions don't even matter, right? Because it's all about me. As if... What kind of society are we living into when women just hear this and they're like, yes, this is so true until we find that one, because men, we're just tired of them. You know, they don't really do much. Like, how have we gotten to this point? And I'm saying that, but I know how we gotten to this point. It's really just, again, a lack of accountability. That's how we get to this point. It's her. And then when you try and check her on it, you're the problem. You're crazy. Let's reverse this. Imagine if that was a man that did that to women and he's on a podcast talking about that. You know what they would say to this guy? You know how toxic, how disgusting he would be, right? It's ridiculous. It only goes one way. They only see things from their perspective. Again, I'm not bashing women. I have to call out the BS, which there's a lot of BS today. I have to do my due diligence, so to speak. Let's get into some of these comments, you guys, because it's pretty crazy. And by the way, most of the comments are positive because, again, this sort of message feels good to women. This is what they want, right? They want to be able to do everything and anything and not being told that they can't do, like, no accountability. They essentially want the boyfriend, but they don't want the boyfriend, right? They want to be able to sleep around, but still get the benefits of having an actual relationship with a man who actually cares about you deeper than just sex, right? And they act like they can just turn that on and off. So like they'll act like a hoe and then they think they could just turn that off and be a housewife. That's not something that you could just turn on and off. This is why even in scripture, as a Christian, it talks about paying attention to people's fruits, because that's who they are, right? In their heart. If you're a whore in your heart, it's very unlikely that you're just going to be able to take that off when you quote unquote find the right one, or turn that off when you find the right one. Anyway, somebody here says, I love how intimacy was included in this conversation. It is such a pure human need. Sometimes the sex liberation talks don't also highlight that people still want to be cared for, freak nasty or not. Obviously, we know that women want to be cared for, but the thing is, if you're presenting that to a man, he's not going to give you quote unquote like princess treatment. If you're a whore, he's not going to treat you like you're his girlfriend. You'd be a joke. And honestly, that's how a lot of men look at you guys, as jokes, when you guys think that this guy's going to care for you. And it's sad, which is why I have this message. And I'm like, don't listen to these women. If you're a woman and you've got this far, it will not help you. I'm telling you, this information is not going to benefit you in the long run. It's not. Again, I got another woman that says, I learned that we all yearning for comfort, going through life, trying to find matching partners to meet our intimacy levels. The saddest part is a lot of this need for comfort was born from trauma. We are trying to soothe ourselves from our day-to-day life. Yeah, I don't even disagree with that. But what I want to say is that, so yes, there is a lot of trauma out there, a lot of heartbreaks, and people have been betrayed, both men and women. This is true. But from the woman's perspective, when you bring that into another relationship with a man, you don't get to say, you don't get to say, well, I just did that because of my past trauma. You have to still take accountability for that, right? If you're not healed, right, why are you dating in the first place? If you still got trauma, there has to get to a point in your life where it's okay. I've done the healing. Okay. I've gone through the hard part. Now I'm wise enough. I've healed enough from my past mistakes, and they are mistakes. Now you've learned better. You should be able to conduct yourself in a better manner with a better option, a better man. And I don't just mean material wise. I'm talking about character, right? To where you don't get to say, well, because of my trauma, X, Y, Z. Why are you dating then? Why are you in the sexual market? Why are you out here if you still have trauma, right? Because other people's emotions and feelings matter too, even if they're men, right? That's what I want to say about that. What else we got here? As someone that has experienced SA and an absent father, I understand the desire for sexual liberation, but after therapy, I don't want anyone to touch my body. There. It's sacred and only for someone I truly love. I can pleasure myself like ill. Not any and everybody deserves access to me and my body. Well, there you go. Like, keep it to yourself. That's better than going out there and causing more trauma for other people. Somebody said, this is why NYC is the best. I would never leave Brooklyn. Yeah, NYC is super liberal and they're like the queen of, I really label in New York City as queen of no accountability, and I would put LA as like king of no accountability. And I live in like the LA area. But yeah, that, you know, these particular regions, you'll find a lot of liberal women. Even in my life as a man who I'm straight, so obviously I deal with this. I deal with women where it is so materialistic. And it's so funny because, and I'm gonna get into some more comments, but it's so funny because I was just talking to a woman about this kind of conversation, and because I was recently on this Jubilee episode that isn't out yet, and this was sort of the conversation, and we were talking about liberation and all these things, right? When we start talking about liberation, the first thing that women of today do, a lot of women of today do, not every woman, is they jump to sex. They jump to sex being the key thing of liberation. Like, that is liberating to them, which is so funny because to a man, like if you talk to a man about liberation, he's not jumping to sex. They'll jump to sex and then say, don't objectify me. Like you can separate the two, right? It's like, for example, if you were to talk to me about liberation, it's going to be something extremely simple like any other man. Maybe it's playing a video game on his day off, or he has a few days off and he can just chill and actually work on a passion of his. Like, that's liberating. Not me going to sleep with multiple women. That doesn't do anything for me, right? That's not liberating. But with a lot of the women today, they feel extremely liberated to just be able to sleep around and do whatever they want with no accountability. Why? Baffles my mind every time. Somebody says, I never found just a cuddle buddy. They always want a piece, even if it took them years to get. What I want to know too also is, how is, like when she said, when she was talking about like a man for different things, like who is just cuddling with you, right? Like, how old were you guys when y'all were doing this? Because if y'all grown and y'all just cuddling, that's just not likely, but you know, okay. We got a guy that says sex is never casual. I mean, I guess on like an well, I would say more so, I mean, you can kind of dissect that. I'm not going to go too deep into that because you can kind of dissect. I mean, yes, on a deep, real spiritual note, yes, sex is never just casual. So yeah, you know, I do agree with that actually. Sex is never casual, but you can treat it like it is. And that's what's going on, right? This guy says, yeah, fellas, dating is cooked. Just don't even consider it at this point. This is, yes, like when you watch this interview or this video, like, and I've been browsing through it, just taking like I've seen more than, I might have to do more videos on this particular video. It's about an hour long, but it is very alarming. It's essentially, if you're a man dating right now, today in 2025 or in modernity, this is what we're dealing with, right? If you're a straight man that wants a more traditional woman, they deem us as the problem. They'll tell us something's wrong with us, and we just want to have a woman that's going to be with us and loyal and all these things. Like, they've gone far beyond that. They want to be able to sleep with whoever they want, do whatever they want, and you can't tell them anything because we're liberated. That's where we're at right now, you guys. And the sad thing about this too, and again, as a Christian man, this thinking has even seeped into the church. It's seeped into the church. So the likelihood right, of us finding someone real. At least it's getting slim to none, for being completely honest with you. What else? Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. I seen another comment earlier of some guy who said, definitely stay in your daughter's life, because yeah, that's what we're dealing with. Let me know what you guys think of the video. Write in the comments, positive, negatives, even if you disagree with me. Even if you're a woman, if you disagree with me, please share your thoughts. Again, don't be shy, speak your mind. Let's talk and have a conversation. I think these need to be brought to the forefront. And as I'm watching and dealing with this stuff in real time, I'm becoming more firm on my stances with things. I have to, because I'm seeing stuff like this. It's like, not that I'm becoming more firm. I've always been firm, but I'm expressing myself more on these topics. Like, and I have to. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Yeah, see you then.